Welcome back to the shipyard. Wave 21 was not an auspicious wave. It brought us the Denorius, the Dreadnought, and the Robinson. Now, of those three, the Robinson was the ship I was personally looking forward to the most because it was the Jem'Hadar attack fighter that the Federation kidnapped. Captured? Captured. You capture ships, you kidnap people. Anyways, the Denorius is cool, and the Dreadnought got a lot better with the card pack, but that was a couple years later. The Robinson is actually an interesting ship. It's tad overpriced. It's 22 points. It also has 4 crew slots. No tech, no weapons. I mean, it makes sense given that the Federation didn't exactly know how to use the weapons. I mean, they kind of did, but they didn't really have secondary weapons for it. It also didn't really know how to use the tech. But yeah, you get the idea here. It's a 3-2-3-3. All well and good. It is technically a Jem'Hadar attack ship, so it does benefit from all those new shiny Jem'Hadar attack ship buffs and things that want Jem'Hadar attack ships in range. And the Robinson is a very nice defensive ability. When defending, if you are hit and you don't already have a warp core breach, you can choose to ignore up to 3 damage being inflicted to your ship and suffer a warp core breach instead. So, just to clear something up for all the people in the back not paying attention, uh, this is a once per attack thing because it's a even though it's wind defending, it is damage. It looks at the total damage and it says, okay, take the warp core breach, reduce that damage chunk by 3. And you just can't take multiple warp core breaches. It's not, this is not a thing. Also, here's the cool thing. You can save your shields, take the crit to your hull, and still have shields left. Why would you do that? Well, there are advantages to still having shields. So, there's some cool bits here. But yeah, it moves just like a Jem'Hadar attack ship. It's got nice green maneuvers, white turns, 3 come about. Not super fast, but that's okay. Uh, the generic for this ship, I believe, it either didn't come one or it's Dominion. But yeah. Um, this Benjamin Cisco is, well, interesting. Each time your ship suffers 1 or more damage to its hull, you may roll 1 attack die. A hit or crit result damages the attacking ship as normal. If the result is a battle station, place a battle station beside your ship. If you choose to roll this die, place an Ox power token beside your ship. So, just to further drive the nail home, my point home, damage has to be suffered as a chunk. Because if it isn't, then Cisco can roll a die for each damage that is dealt to his ship, right? Take a hit. Okay, I'm rolling an attack die. I take another hit. I'm rolling an attack die. I take a third hit. I'm rolling an attack die. Because it does say each time. No, what this is, by saying 1 or more, that means every time your ship would suffer any amount of damage, Cisco gets to roll 1 die. And it doesn't matter how he suffers the damage. If Matt Decker inflicts a damage to Cisco's ship, Cisco can roll a retaliation die. I guess it's not an attacking ship. Never mind. Scratch that. Because it does say attacking ship. But yeah, you get the point here. This is all about You shoot me, I retaliate for one. It's a very common card game mechanic, which is you get to do your entire damage to me, but in doing so, I hit you back for one. It's fine. It's fine. I'm still going to take my shot. I just also come out of it with a wound. We'll live with it. Um, the Cisco's okay. I find him more interesting in mission play than I ever have in tournament play. But I think there's some potential here. Um, yeah. Generic captain is generic. Infiltration. This is a talent that, well, is something. Action. Discard this card to perform the action if your ship is within range 1 to 2 of at least one enemy ship, but not within range 1 to 2 of any friendly ships. Your ship cannot be attacked or attack this round. So it's a very conditional hybrid of diplomacy and conditional surrender without the crew loss, but it's an action, so it feels more like diplomacy than anything else, except diplomacy has better things and also targets a ship to stop them from attacking. The card's okay, but it's way overpriced. This, if anything, this would be a nice 3-point card because it is one use, it's action, it's discard, and all you're doing is giving up your attack and making sure your ship stays safe for one round. Not a huge fan. We get a whole slew of the DS9 crew. So we're going to go through them somewhat quick because none of them are actually all that remarkable. Miles O'Brien. Action. If your ship's not cloaked, disable all of your remaining shields. Target a ship at range 1 to 2 that is not cloaked, has no active shields. We all know that's a bad combination. It's a bad requirement. Discard this card to inflict 1 damage to the target ship's hull. Okay, but you know what? I can do the same thing with Matt Decker as either a captain or an admiral for 1 point, and he's recurable, and all I'm doing is giving the other ship an extra attack die. And I don't have to live with all the requirements of losing my shields, not being cloaked, and making sure that the other ship's not cloaked and has no shields. O'Brien's way too expensive. Dax. You may disable this card after performing a red maneuver to place an evade token beside your ship. Actually, Dax isn't bad. Dax would have benefited from time tokens, but she's not bad. She's still a little expensive, but she's not bad. Bashir. At any time, you may discard this card to reroll 1 die. I actually have come around on my understanding of Bashir that he does work whenever you would need to reroll a die, because at any time does actually work to that extent because he's not just a start of phase thing. He is actually at any time. I still think he's bad because rerolling 1 die is not actually worth it, but he is nice warp core breach prevention, so he does go okay on the Robinson, but again, is that really what you want to pay 4 more points for? I'm going to go with no. Nog. 4 points. During the combat phase, you may disable this card, spend a scan token that is beside your ship as if it were an evade or a battle station. I like the timing because it is truly at any time during the combat phase. You have to disable the card at the start of the combat phase, but you can use that scan at any point during the phase. You're just declaring at the start that you can actually do it. Very flexible, very mission playable, but yeah, there's something there. Still don't love it. much better time token ability. Garrick. Fed Garrick. Interesting to get fed Garrick. At the beginning of the combat phase, you may disable this card. Again, time tokens, please. To add 2 to your captain skill, or during the combat phase, you may discard this card to select 3 of your attack or defense dice and reroll them. Why? Why so bad? Why disable for captain boost or discard for a reroll? How about time tokens for either? Yeah, Garrick just bad. So yeah, kind of sad that we don't get more crew, but I think this was the crew that went on the Robinson. Also would have been cool to get a Captain Garrick because of the role he played in the episode where he had the little eye visor, the Vorta visor, command visor thing. But yeah, the Robinson's an okay pack. It's not the best. It's solidly okay. It's very thematic. What's nice about it is giving the Federation this cool Jem'Hadar attack ship, and it plays to some missions. It gives you a lot of room to say, hey, what else could the Federation have done during the Dominion War with this Jem'Hadar attack ship? I don't recall the mission that came with this pack, but if I remember the missions that Dave Griffith did for me, this mission was pretty thematic, and I'm sure that more thematic missions could be created with it. My only real gripe is that it's 22 points. And the ship just needs to be cheaper, because all Jem'Hadar attack ships were made cheaper. So this is a big one that I would make cheaper. I'd still make it a more expensive attack ship. I'd probably give it a 1 point premium, but I still want to see it as a cheaper named ship. So yeah, Robinson, solid okay, solid C pack. Nothing you're gonna love, but also nothing you're gonna hate. All right, hey, thank you all for watching. Until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.